Let's unpack it, Brandy.
Did you know that we're in for such a game? Dean Mariner scores in the second set. Dean Mariner runs a try in 2 minutes into the game. And then Nick Meaney, the first time Melbourne get up the other end of the field, Melbourne score through Nick Meaney. And I thought, oh, wow, we're in for a shootout.
So 3 tries last year in the grand final. We had, 3 and 15 there last night.
We're in for a shootout.
And by halftime, 6 tries.
Did you think, when Jerome Hughes scored that try, so Walsh scores one of the best individual tries you'll see in a grand final. Bus, 3-4 tackles on his way to score the try. They got themselves back into the game after really Melbourne dominating. But, Katoa, Warbrick, Meaney, 3 tries. When Walsh scored that in the 30th minute, you thought, okay, bang, back into it. When Jerome Hughes scored, I went, it's looking like a Melbourne night.
Yeah, a lot of points in them. You're not thinking that's the last time they score, is it? When you saw that,
just when you, I thought at half time, I had a chat with Woz and I said, "Do Melbourne get to 30 pretty quickly?" And they might.
Yeah.
I did not expect to witness what happened in the second half. The Melbourne would make mistakes like they did, and only get through one set in the first 20 minutes of the second half. Andrew, one set.
Yes.
They completed one set. So little wonder that, an attacking unit like the Brisbane Broncos were able to run in 3 tries. Gemma Chipatsaki scored his second try in the 57th minute.
That's right.
That's it.
Long time to go.
That is it.
Long time to go.
There's a whole lot of time because, so you thought, and Melbourne, we've spoken about it, Melbourne had 3 chances.
3 definite chances to score.
To win the game.
Yeah.
Well, possibly.
Actually,
that's all speculation.
Actually, there was 4 because they did 3 handling errors on opportunities, the biggest one being the Ryan Pappenhausen bust and the flick and Warbrick couldn't handle. But right to the end, the bust where Katoa and Pappenhausen streaming through. Just give you a couple of numbers. Heading into that game, I don't know whether it ever had more lopsided in terms of head-to-head. Brisbane had only beaten Melbourne 15 out of 59.
Yeah.
15 times in history.
Yeah.
Melbourne, when leading at half-time in finals matches under Craig Bellamy...
Don't get beaten.
29 of 29.
Don't get beaten.
29 unbeaten run.
Brisbane smashed all those historical records that were floating around them.
Yes, everything.
And Madge's record against Craig Bellamy.
Horrible.
Leading at half-time. Last week's numbers coming out of the Penrith-Brisbane game. 98 times Penrith have won a game when leading by 12 or more at half-time. 98.
Wipe that away.
98-0. Wipe that off. They just swept past everything. All those historical records went out the window because no one expected Reece Walsh to play as good as he did.
Well, let's focus on Reece Walsh for the moment. Something obviously had to change this season, because it was a moderate start to the year. It was moderate at best. He was not having the numbers early in the season.
No, he was
mistakes and no great plays.
He was playing terrible. He did not, and this isn't by any means the Bible, but he had not recorded a Dally M point when voting went behind closed doors after round 12.
Amazing.
Not a point.
What great leadership and identification on what a young player needs by Michael Maguire. That's experience.
Yeah.
That's experience. But Reece telling that tale, we've always been told. I haven't had a lot to do. I've loved interviewing Reece over time. It's always been good fun.
Yeah.
But I keep getting told he's got rugby league smarts about him. And then you hear about him watching phone and clips, late into the night. That's a pull back the curtains moment that Walsh is a footy player.
Yeah.
Footy head, if not footy nerd.
Andrew, it wasn't long before the final started, and I was in Newcastle doing the Brisbane-Newcastle game, and Reece Walsh in the first half was like, what are you doing moments? He had those moments. I'm thinking, what?
Loose in play, loose.
But then he came out and won the game. Set up and scored, 30 points, and they blew Brisbane off the park.
Yeah.
But his improvement over the last month has been incredible to watch, to a point where we are saying that's the greatest individual grand final performance we have seen.
Well, Craig Bellamy said a lot of performances in grand final of his own. He had blokes like Billy Slater win a couple of Clive Churchill medals, just to name
Cameron
one.
Smith.
Exactly. But I'm sure Craig Bellamy, the league lover, at a different time would give you nothing but glowing praise, enormous praise for Reece Walsh. But he was obviously disappointed his team. They had a plan and they just couldn't contain him. 5 line break assists, 3 try assists, 14 tackle busts.
And Melbourne have been a defensive side that have been able to focus on the danger man in the opposition and shut them down. But
yes.
Craig said it. Well, how do you stop him? Well, you tackle him. But he said his strength. And I haven't seen – I've seen Reece Walsh drift across the face of defensive lines and beat them with speed, but I have not seen him break tackles like he did over the last 3 weeks. Like he was powering through defenders.
Amazing final series. You know, right up there with Hayne, Michael Morgan for the Cowboys in 2017, but they didn't win. Reece Walsh did. Reece Walsh put icing on the cake, the candles, lit them, and blew them out.
Well, he lost both his halves.
He did everything
through the second half.
Amazing. One of those halves is Adam Reynolds. Now, Adam first won a title in 2014, has had 2 grand final defeats since, and now is a grand final winner again at 35 years of age. Our own Corey Parker caught up with Adam after full time on SEN.
Mate, you've done it.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Man, I love this club. It's so special. I mean, the fight, the resilience we showed throughout that second half to come back the way we did, not only tonight, but the last 2 finals. It's quite incredible.
What was the word at half-time? 22 points to 12 behind against a red-hot side who had a lot of ball.
We've been here before. We've done it. The belief's amazing. Madge has got us firing. You know, we knew at the back half of the game, or the second half, we were going to come home strong, and we knew that we'd get our moments, and we just needed to take them.
Interesting. And we've had a few texts. You know, does the Adam Reynolds injury, because it was only 8 minutes in the second half, that Brisbane had just scored their first try of the second half when he left the field.
And missed the goal too. He missed the conversion out on the left side. And I thought, oh, that's not a good miss, because it wasn't from the sideline.
No. Yeah, interesting. We'll never know whether Brisbane's, you know, the second half plays out how it did if he was on the field. On that, how tough would that be? You captained the side in the premiership. How tough is that? You know, you leave your team behind. Like I noticed that moment. Like he had to go from all the way around the ground, Adam Reynolds, to get back to the dugout. That was a long, long walk. The other one was Ben Hunt. I noticed in his dazed state, he was going off, and then he turned around and thought, oh no, I'll go back. And he went over and pulled Reece Walsh aside. I'd love to know what the conversation was. Ben Hunt. Yeah, Ben Hunt walked back over. Get him home.
Exactly. Is that what he said? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
something
just
along those lines.
Yes.
He gave him a little rev up. The 35-year-old telling the 23-year-old, you've now got to take this team to
even though he's HIA'd and wobbling off the field.
That was a bloody
and then
moment.
I've got to speak to Reece.
He stopped. He turned around and went back to go grab Reece Walsh and tell him. So, Reynolds' moment, Hunt injured. You're in commentary on Fox League at that point. Are you thinking, oh, geez, no.
Not when Reynolds left the field. When Reynolds left the field, because Ezra was so good, you just knew that Ben Hunt was able to put the ball. And I thought Ben Hunt kicked the ball perfectly. There was 2 or 3 kicks where he put it right in the corner, right on the try line, right in the corner, and that made it hard for Melbourne. That just turned the screws again on Melbourne. So pretty fortunate. When you lose Reynolds, you've still got Hunt and Mam as your halves.
That's true. That's true. Just on a couple of other little things you may not have realised. Lovely moment. Kobe Hetherington wins a comp 30 years, almost 30 years to the day since his dad did. I think it was 30 years and 4 days, I think might be right, since Jason won with the Bulldogs. With the Dogs. That's nice, isn't it? You know, like father-son. Yeah. And I'll say this to Adam Reynolds. Here's a champagne glass. Salute you. Brilliant moment. Like, how good is the sport that in that moment, the trophy's coming out, I call over Billy
Walters. Yep.
Busted knee. You know, that's bloody hell, it's a good sport.
Yep.
Like, it's about your team and your culture. Billy, you have this moment on stage. Not just any moment. You have the moment.
Yeah,
that
the trophy
we get
moment.
The trophy.
Yep.
Because of what you did and you're not here tonight. That was something special. That was
loved it.
That's the equivalent of Thurston giving Steve Price the ring, you know, all those years ago. 04, that moment.
That is
said, you have my premiership ring. I don't deserve this, you did.
I regard that as one of the great moments of the grand final. There we go.
Yeah,
Adam Reynolds bringing Billy Walters up on stage to celebrate that.
But here's the last word. It belongs to Reece Walsh at the end of his Clive Churchill Medal winning speech. This is a grab we're going to hear for years and years to come.
We love you. If it wasn't for all those bloody defensive sets on our line, I don't think we'd be here. Love yous all. Plumber out.
Plumber out.
Plumber out.
I
Plumber out. It's a whole new world, Brandy.
I found
Plumber
myself looking to see what colour his fingernails were too.
Black.
I don't know
They were
why.
black.
Yeah,
They were black.
I'm thinking, wow, what am I doing?
Plumber out.
I'm interested in
Black nail
what colour
polish.
he's got.
It's a whole new world, folks. It must be confusing for Corey because daylight savings has kicked in on a program
dark down
based in a
here.
city where it hasn't kicked in. And so Corey's just all over the
Heels
place.
is in the sunshine up there in the sunshine.
I'd be lying, boys, if I said it wasn't a little foggy and hazy in the head of C. Parker at the moment.
Get out.
My
Did you
goodness.
celebrate? Did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I got home at about 12:30, got to bed at about 1:30 after sort of playing over what was, arguably one of the greatest performances of an individual.
Yes.
The grand final it was, and how 14 minutes, boys. Just digest this for a second. 14 minutes out of 174 minutes in a final. 14 minutes is the only amount of time the Broncos lead in games.
Oh wow!
Isn't that an incredible stat?
That is incredible. That is incredible.
Well,
They've come from beyond. Well, that makes sense.
How does that make sense?
Well, three
When
games.
When they hit the front last night?
They hit the front in the 57th minute.
57th.
Yeah.
What's
So
that?
there's 23 minutes.
You just said 14 minutes.
Yeah, true.
Let's not bog down on the nitty-gritty, boys.
That's St Dominic's maths.
St Dom's maths.
Yeah.
Corey, we get the gist of it. They didn't lead for long. Can we bring Heels into it from afar? Brisbane watching the grand final
Heels is
last
there.
night from all over the place. Heels, what was it like?
It was big. It was big when you saw the news. The news is before the game, having just watched the women's victory. They were at live sites everywhere. You know, the Caxton we talk about a lot, but they were at Howard Smith Wharves watching a big screen. Haven't seen that before. They probably would have been down South Bank. So it was big, and it's going to be big today and tomorrow. I think scenes of the early 90s when it was the first time the airport was full to welcome the team back. The whole route from the airport to the city or to the Broncos club was jam-packed in those years. So I reckon it's on again today for sure. The Broncos club was jam-packed as well, the car park even.
Heels, they'd still be people celebrating the AFL too, wouldn't it? Like the Lions, the stragglers, those
and the Origin,
real heavy
and the
hitters,
Origin.
and the Origin.
Celebrate the Origin, Brandy.
Yeah, my
Well,
God.
it's been quite the year. Look, I've given up on the wine and all the doubling down and all that
We'll
sort
be
of
right.
jargon.
We're right.
Seriously,
Just
you
keep
owe
it
us
going.
2 crates of it. Boys, there's so many storylines last night.
Hello,
I mean,
we're getting problem with the line here. We might have to go to calls. No,
so
Corey,
many
yes,
storylines
on you go,
last
Corey.
night, boys.
Yes.
I've nearly forgot about the Dean Mariner no try. How close did he go to the dead ball line? It was just an incredible start to the game. What's the one thing, boys, that really sticks out for you?
Oh, Reece Walsh's individual try in the first half. And I had to correct myself during the call, Coz and Heals. I said, wow, what a second half it's been from Reece Walsh. Then I thought, well, he had the first half as well. It was, and we've said it here this morning, it's the best individual performance we've seen. Nathan in 2023 was incredible and scored that winning try. The fact that the nail in the coffin, the try. But in terms of overall, I don't think anyone's ever, like we've had Brett Kenny. Brett Kenny had some great grand finals for the Eels in that 81, 82, 83 run.
Doubles, yeah.
But no one's had a game
he
like
wasn't.
Reece Walsh. No one
nothing
comes
like-
close.
I'll give you a double dead heat, boys, just away from the actual rugby league. I loved the moment, and I was sitting on the non-broadcast side. When Ben Hunt is going off to the head bin, he stops, brushes away from the trainer, turns around and goes back and grabs Reece Walsh and says, mate, obviously something along the lines of, you bring them home now, you bring this home, you can do this. And the other moment was Adam Reynolds inviting Billy Walters up onto stage. Jeez, I thought that was a brilliant moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, from an independent observer, that's just a really proud rugby league moment. What a great sport. What a great sport.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. JJ's text on through. He said, we're still going, boys. Get that up, you buzz.
No one likes it.
Yeah, he's up and about this morning.
And he did ask you as well, Parker, is Walsh the best player in the world right now?
Well, it's hard to
yes.
say he's not. It's
Yes,
hard to
I'd
say
say
he's not.
so.
His last 6 weeks has been unbelievable.
Hot.
But that game last night
Hot.
was it's something else. Something else.
Boys, Melbourne's worst nightmare sort of came to fruition. I thought their lowest profile section of their team are their centres and backs, which seemed to get attacked. And then they didn't go to Coates enough, did they?
No, they didn't have much joy. There was
Well,
not
they
a
tried.
clean. They tried, yeah, but they did muck it up, didn't they? That last close to full time where they ended up going over the sideline. I kept thinking, well, a kick to Coates is the play. You got to pull the trigger on your big weapon. And they went through the hands and gave him no space at all and end up over the sideline. They did get moments wrong in the second half.
Katoni Staggs got penalised in the first kick for the escort.
Yep.
Boy, it was a fine line with Katoni Staggs all night, but he did a great job to protect and keep Coates away
He
from
had to
the
run
contest.
circles. He could never run a direct line, Coates. He had to go round.
Yeah.
Never. Big bat back. There was one of those. Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good shout. The Coates call. How long do celebrations go on for? So what is the plan for Brisbane?
A
with the
week.
team?
A week. They
Yeah,
go for
a week.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And
I think there could be a
judging
tour.
by what I was witnessing last night, there was a couple of live videos going on social media, which I'm sure you're across, Vossy, on how all that works. They're out in the middle of the ground. The cigars are up, look like
cigars are
Snoop
out,
Dogg's
yes.
dressing room.
Yeah.
They'll be on.
Who will have to issue the first apology for a post, for some sort of social media post that just oversteps the mark just a bit?
Probably already happened.
It is a good point.
Well,
I did see
the cigars
Reece.
will probably. Well, I'll tell you, in this world that we live in, the cigars will cause a problem already. There'll be.
Yes.
You don't see people smoking these days, and to so brazenly put it out there, we are having a good time because we've got the cigars. But someone will be up in arms about that. So
Smoke-free stadium.
That's a good point. It's a smoke-free stadium. There's your first
They are.
one.
Bang.
Broncos,
Heels
take the
all over
premiership
it.
off them. Take the premiership off them.
You know how I know that?
Stadium.
You know how I know the relevance of that?
Yeah, go.
Warney would have a letter written about him every test he commentated in.
Right.
That you'd find him in stairwells having a quick durry, and the stadium authority would write to Channel 9 and give him another letter.
Right.
So
Put
there
away
will
the
be letters.
darts. Put away the darts. So the teams will come back together. The fact that because we're in uncharted territory here, aren't we? Has there been a year? No, there's been no year where
No.
NRLW
Men and women.
Premier and NRL Premier. So that means for a bigger stage. Like that's going to make one hell of a club photo, isn't it?
Do the
absolutely.
NRLW team join the
do
NRL
they-
team in their celebrations?
Yeah, will they? Is that a given or not?
I reckon they would today. Absolutely, they both fly back today. I don't know where that's held. I think it may be at the facility, or they might even go one step more and just head off to Caxton Street. They might shut the street down. It's going to be mayhem, boys. Let me tell you, I left Brisbane yesterday morning. There were 6 chartered flights going out of Brisbane. The whole airport was just paraphernalia of Broncos. So you got to assume everyone's on this wave, and they'll go straight from the airport and they land this morning to wherever the boys and the team are going. And let me tell you, I've been going. I've been getting a couple of texts from some of the players and former players, and they're up and about.
Oh, yeah. Look, so Corey, you may as well have the week off. You don't want to be broadcasting. Go and party, mate. Go get up
It's a
there
good
and
point. That is a great point.
Oh, we're finished at 9.
Oh,
well,
you go.
it's a public holiday for some.
well, that's right.
So,
You're going
how
to
many
have a big week, boys.
How
You're
many
gonna have a big-
steaks you reckon they're going to have this week? It's huge. Hey, I thought, fellas, our workers, that Melbourne didn't match the likes of Ricky and Carrigan, who played 80 minutes. That's another area where we might have beaten them.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like I know the workers. You know, you don't win the comp on your own, but the Stars came out to play last night.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Madge Maguire, boys. Give us your
good.
opinion on Madge Maguire, because
How can
at
you
different
how can you
stages
say
there's-
anything but successful? Like how can a great move?
Yes.
Did we not? I did. I know I was one that said, you know what, Madge would be great for them. They need a bit of steel. They need a bit of accountability. They need something, because it obviously wasn't working. Last year, it fell apart. You could just see it. The season just crumble. And that went from the 23 grand final, and you thought, no, it's not working, and they need someone like Madge in there. Now, all the, whatever the truth or non-truth of the stories about training too hard, please. Like, was there players complaining about training too hard? And if there was, boo-hoo. But if there wasn't, and if there was nothing in it, well, Madge did exactly what was required. And that was toughen up the Brisbane side.
Reports this morning that he did have to get reined in by the senior players about his intensity in analysis and team meetings, and did it very, very comfortably and willingly.
No, there you go. There you go. Well, all that can be unpacked. The ways to win a premiership. Corey, I will finish with you though, because you were the last part of the last Broncos side to win a premiership. How does it feel? So, because you've borne that now for 19 years. You went along the way. Well, you won the last time. Maybe this year. It wasn't this year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. Now you've done it. 19-year drought. How does it feel as a proud Broncos man?
Yeah, just exceptional. I was emotional last night. I don't know if it was because I was invested in the call and then what all unfolded after that and how they won, but to have that 19-year release of we have done it, and I was part of the 15, we were unable to do it in 15, they got so close in 23, but to see the team go about their business last night, I was down on the field after the game, I was talking with Benny Hunt, he had tears in his eyes, Renault was the same, it was special, and whilst we've had our carry with the jersey on our back, it's now their time, and they've done it. They have done it, and they have done it in spectacular fashion. Like, it is that game last night, but in particular the way, go back to Canberra, Ben Hunt, the field goal in Canberra to keep them alive. Then they move into against 14 points down against the 4-time premiers in the scenes at Suncorp Stadium, which were
God damn it.
Unbelievable. And then again last night, they find themselves 10 points behind at half-time, 22 points to 12 at half-time, and they come home with a victory. Players, HIA, calves are gone. There was all sorts of disruption, but they just wouldn't yield. And to see that unfold and to see my kids and everyone, there was tears in the eyes of kids just based on that emotion that was there yesterday afternoon and last night. Super special, Vossy.
Great stuff, Corey. Well, be proud. So you should.
Yep.
A 347 gamer for the Broncos. We all stand up. Salute the Broncos.
Have the week off.
Winning NRL. NRLW. Yeah, you too. Yeah. Well, we can handle it. We can do SENQ. We can.
Yeah. We just take our call.
Take our show. Yep. You can have the week off.
Heals, you can have a breather. Get on the drinks with Coz.
Hang on a sec.
Thanks, fellas.
Hang on a sec. No, we'd have to do an extra hour till 10, Brandy.
No, sorry.
No,
okay, all bets off. Sorry, boys.
Right,
yeah, good chatting.
Yeah. Good luck, fellas.
See you, boys.
There we go. Corey Parker, Ian Healy. Well put, and painted the picture of how things are there. How things in your neighbourhood. Did you adopt the Broncos for the night? I reckon there were fans walking in. I said, you can't. Where do all these Broncos fans come from? People must have purchased jerseys from somewhere. The merch stands at the ground, as I understand it, sold out of their Broncos gear. So they only had a heritage jersey, a Powers jersey that was available.
Yeah, right.
They
sold out.
Yeah, you seem to be able to grab your Melbourne gear, but the Broncos gear was impossible to get.
Too many Broncos.
Did you ever think you'd see that day that people would adopt a Queensland team?
No.
What are you doing there, Brandy? Stretching back?
Yeah,
just a bit
stretching.
tight. Just keep.
Yeah.
You know, Michael, doctors say a proper breakfast includes eggs, bacon, and breakfast with Vossy and Brandy. So get your daily fix through our socials and listen live on SEN Radio.